Roselle, also known as Hibiscus Sabdariffa. This is what Roselle seeds look like. I sow Roselle seeds by broadcasting them evenly across the soil surface. Seeds start to germinate. Please keep soil moist until seeds germinate. For me, Roselle seed usually germinate between day 3 to day 7. For me, optimal germination temperature for Roselle are about 24 degrees Celsius. True leaf emerging, for me, growing temperature for Roselle is between 24 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Roselle has a minimum growing temperature of 10 degrees Celsius and a maximum growing temperature of 36 degrees Celsius according to the net. In cooler climate, usually you can start at 8 to 12 weeks before last frost date. This last frost date and temperature varies greatly depending on your state, county, elevation, and even whether you live in an urban or rural environment. For starting seed indoor, as soon as seedlings emerge, please provide light to seedlings. You can put them on a sunny windowsill or grow seedlings beneath LED grow lights. Distance grow light from plant depend on LED wattage of your lights, the amount of ambient light, and the type of plant you are growing. A general rule is that LED lights should be about 12 to 30 inches from the top of your plant. As your plants grow, you have to change the height of your lights to accommodate the growing plant's height. For growing seedling using grow lights, do not leave lights on for 24 hours. Please give the Roselle seedling 8 to 10 hours of dark period. Using incandescent bulbs will not work for this process because they will get too hot and they will burn your plants. Before planting Roselle in the garden, seedling plants need to be hardened off. This hardening off process toughens the plant's cell structure and reduces transplant shock and scalding. If you don't harden your plants, the young plants will get burned by the sun, the shock of cold, or the wind. If frost threatens at night, cover or bring containers indoors, then take them out again in the morning. For most plants, begin hardening off a week before the final frost date for your area. After your plant have been hardening off, you can transplant them to new container or sowing directly in the garden. Roselle hardiness zones, 8 to 11 USDA. My minimum temperature when growing Roselle is 24 degrees Celsius. My maximum temperature when growing Roselle is 33 degrees Celsius. My average humidity when growing Roselle are about 84%. I grow my Roselle in tropical climate. Roselle lifespan in my climate is a short-lived, perennial. In cooler climate, Roselle can be grown as annual. Roselle prefer to grow in tropical climate. Roselle is native to tropical Africa. Roselle can be propagate from seeds or stem cutting. When Roselle is propagate by seeds, it is common to have some seeds fail to germinate. Roselle success germination rate depend on seeds quality, seed age, moisture, light, and temperature. For me, on average, Roselle seed viability are about 1 year. Roselle seed viability is greatly affected by its quality at the time of collection, its treatment between collection, storage, and the conditions in which it is stored. Soil I use for growing Roselle contain cocoa peat, red burn soil, micro, fine sand, old humus, and charcoal. You can use whatever growing media available to your convenience. As long as you use well-drained soil to grow Roselle, you will be fine. Roselle prefer to grow in rich organic matter and moisture-retentive growing media. Also, if you can, please make sure that your growing media are sterilized and clean. Relocate my plant to protect from sun. By choosing sterilized and clean growing media will minimize new seedlings from becoming infected from disease-causing pathogens. Roselle prefer to grow in slightly acidic soil pH between 5.5 to 6.5 pH, and my soil pH, when I try to grow Roselle, are about 7 pH. It is helpful to check the soil pH, as different plants thrive in different soil pH ranges, and you can measure your soil pH by using pH meters. Container size I use for growing Roselle, height 28 centimeters, width 39 centimeters. The bigger the container you use, the bigger root system will develop and will resulting bigger plant. If grow Roselle in the garden, space plants around 30 centimeters, 12 inches apart. Roselle can grow up to 1 to 2 meter tall. When growing Roselle, please make sure your container have good drainage. For me, the advantage for growing in container is gives me more control over sunlight, moisture, and temperature. On average, every time I water my plant, water usage are about 1,000 milliliters. Time I water my Roselle is between 7 to 8 in the morning. If you can, please avoid watering in the evening, since at night, water tends to rest in the soil around the roots, which encourages fungal growth and insects infestation. Your water usage may be different than me. Depending on your conditions, you may have to water as often as twice a day. I start using fertilizer on my plant after 2 weeks of growing. After that, I fertilize my plant every 3 weeks. For this growing season, I use liquid fertilizer on my plant. You can use whatever fertilizer available to your convenience. Please read and follow the instructions carefully before starting using any fertilizers. Roselle, aka Hibiscus Sabdariffa, genus Hibiscus, is from the Greek word hibiskos, which Roman poet Virgil used to relate to the marshmallow plant. Species epithet Sabdariffa is the name of a genus that this species was once placed in. The common name Roselle is likely a corrupted version of the French name for this plant, Océle de Guinée, which means Guinea sorrel. Roselle, usually grown for its edible flowers and leaves. The young Roselle shoots have a sour taste and may be added to salads, soups, and meat or vegetable dishes. Fresh or dried Roselle calyces can be immersed in hot water and then sweetened with sugar to prepare a beverage that is rich in antioxidants, such as vitamin C and anthocyanins. Its taste is similar to Ribena, a blackcurrant-flavored drink, and in the Caribbean, people drink the juice extracted from the calyces either fresh or fermented. The Roselle calyx is also used as a natural food coloring, as well as for making jams which taste like cranberry sauce. Roselle also makes as excellent hedge or border plant. Plant several individuals together to maximize the impact of its color. Roselle flowering usually occurs 45 to 60 days from seed planting. Roselle calyces are ready for harvest about 35 days after flower opening. Prune Roselle shrub to promote branching, and hard pruning will encourage the formation of larger flowers. Harvesting Roselle will promote new flower development. For Roselle seed collecting, leave them dry on the plant before harvest. It seems to seed already germinate. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos.